Second act, Jennifer Lopez, sort of career rom-com, directed by Peter Siegel, written by Justin Zackham and Len Goldsmith Thomas. So she plays a working woman, but he's working in retail and is failing to get promotion. She's in a long-term relationship, but despite the implications of her partner, she has no time for kids because the time's not right, and his desire to settle down. She wants something better for her life, and she makes a birthday. She's given a surprise birthday party that she knows is coming. She makes a birthday wish, get me out of this, make my life change. She then applies for a job in an upmarket company, and which is Treat Williams is the guy in charge, and she goes to the interview and they're all delighted to see her because she thinks I'm not qualified for this job at all. And they're all delighted to see her because she then discovers that in fact her friends have knocked together a completely false CV and a completely false Facebook page that portray her as a high flyer. It was at Harvard and mountains and Peace Corps and all this sort of stuff. And she thinks, well, that's really, really embarrassing, but at least I'm not going to get the job. And then she gets the job.
I was F&C. They want to hire me.
Shut up. I thought that skinny bitch kicked you out of her office.
She did. I mean, I basically trashed their entire skincare line.
Maybe that was a test to see if you were a straight shooter. The lie got you in the door. But you got the job, baby. I mean, come on. You could do this. You could do this.
Miss Davila, a moment.
Hey, who's the champ?
What?
You're the champ. Come on, who's the champ? Who's the champ? Yeah, come on, wake up. Who's the champ? Let's go. Who's the champ?
I'm the champ?
You're the champ. Come on. Stop talking.
So it's so two things. Firstly, it's clearly not a movie for me, and secondly, it's not a movie that's very good. She takes the job, and she then discovers that she has a rival who seems to be a rival, but from the outset that they will find some way of bonding. And then the way in which they find a way of bonding it stretches the bounds of contrivance, past credibility and beyond. And while I was watching it, I was thinking this. I did this program for BBC4 about genre films, and I did one about rom-coms. And there was a certain form of rom-com that this sort of follows in the footsteps of. It's the archetypal character, the woman who's got a career over the thing, and then she has to make a decision about blah, 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 blah. And if you look back at the sort of screwball rom-coms, the great classic screwball rom-coms, if you start saying, well, that wouldn't happen, well, it doesn't matter. The way in which the writing was done, the way in which the brio and the gusto of those classic screwball rom-coms was so great that actually it didn't matter. The inconsistencies of, why is there a giant animal in the bathroom? You just let it go because it worked. In the case of this, it's sort of weirdly, somewhere in the back of it, there are films like Working Girl, which is a really great film, and 9 to 5, which is a really great film, and then this, which is an immensely forgettable and really not very great film. And it felt like something that it is at very best. If we were doing that program again now, it would be at very, very best a footnote of an example of a film which is taking those sort of ideas and recycling them. That said, I have to say, in the interest of fairness and open disclosure, I saw the film at a screening in which it was completely, I think it was called a talker screening. I mean, certainly people did talk during the screening. I think it was called a talker screening, and other members of the audience appeared to be enjoying it more than I did. There was a lot of, in the sequences in which she's with her close friends and they're bickering and bonding, that stuff raised much more of a chuckle with other members of the audience than it did with me. So I do know that, having sat in an audience of people who were ready to enjoy it, that it didn't utterly fail. But I did think this really isn't very good at all.
Hugh McKenna.